Hi Aries, welcome to your love reading for August 2019. This is Elizabeth from channelguidance.com. I've already shuffled the decks for you and you did have two jumping cards. Let me show you what they are. The first card that jumped for Aries is the Six of Cups, and then you had the Tower. So the Six of Cups can be that maybe you're hearing from someone from the past. This represents people from the past, memories from the past, emotional baggage from the past, but it can also even represent soulmate energy. Now you had this with the Tower. So the Tower is, perhaps something shocking happening in the month of August, a very unexpected development, or even a very kind of shocking revelation or truth. Now, I want to show you, I don't always do this, but I want Aries to see what is at the bottom of both of these decks that I just shuffled for you. So let me go ahead and show you now. This is a deck of all major arcana that we're going to use as a main energy. And at the bottom of the deck, you had the Devil. And at the bottom of this deck, you had the Devil. So, the Devil it can represent the sign of Capricorn, but the Devil can also represent that, there's a lot of negativity. There could be a lot of negative thinking that could be getting in the way of your soulmate relationship, or perhaps an ex that you want to reunite with, because there's something else that I want to show you. I've already shuffled the deck that I'm going to use for the ex spread, but I wanted to show you this. These two cards jump for the sign of Aries when I was asking about your ex. So the reason I'm showing you this, bear with me, is because of this is just eye-opening. The Devil at the bottom of both decks. I feel like this is about your ex if you have one. It could be that in the month of August, this is a confrontational energy. The sign of Aries has a chance to confront perhaps your ex, or something negative that happened in the relationship. Perhaps it was cheating or just a very negative relationship. This is confrontational energy. So what we're seeing right here, especially with the Six of Cups representing the past, your ex, it could be that there's a shocking confrontation with your ex. You're able to confront them as far as something that happened in the relationship that really upset you. So I wanted to go ahead and show you that. Let's go ahead and put these back in here. Remember, it was a Tower and the Six of Cups. It's just, I don't think I've ever seen a card repeat itself that many times, and I have not even pulled any cards yet. So let's start with this one here, and let's get a main energy for you. This is a love reading for the sign of Aries for August 2019. Love reading for the sign of Aries. What is the strongest energy around the sign of Aries for August 2019? Okay, well, at least it's not the Devil. You have the High Priest, which is actually the Hierophant. This can represent the sign of Taurus, but this also just represents spiritual energy. This is really knowing who you belong with. This is a card of kindred spirits and soulmates. So remember, you did have the Six of Cups, which also represents soulmates. So let's go ahead and put this aside. I'll come back to it in a minute and see how it ties in with the rest of the reading. This is a love reading for the sign of Aries for August 2019. The first card you have, Aries, is the Three of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Aries for August. The Chariot. Love reading for the sign of Aries for August. The Sun. Love reading for the sign of Aries for August. King of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Aries for August. The Star. Love reading for the sign of Aries for August. Page of Swords. Love reading for the sign of Aries for August. Interesting. Queen of Wands is lined up with the King of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Aries for August. Justice. Love reading for the sign of Aries for August. And the King of Cups. Okay, so let's start at the top and see what you have going on here. You have the Three of Wands, the Chariot, and the Sun. So although you did have the Devil quite a few times, you still have the most positive card in the entire deck. You have the Sun, which does mean that there is a lot of positive energy. So don't be afraid the Devil was there. I feel like that is some type of negativity that happened in a past relationship. You actually have a lot of positive energy with the Sun. This is happiness. This can even represent marriage for some of you. This is love. You also have this with the Chariot. This can represent the sign of Cancer. It could be your partner or an ex or somebody new, but it also just represents victory, success in a relationship. So you have positive energy and movement as far as something or someone you have been waiting for. And this has come up for a lot of the other signs that I've posted so far, waiting. The Three of Wands doesn't mean that you've been waiting for some movement. You've been waiting for success as far as a relationship or your love life. The Three of Wands can also mean that maybe you've been waiting for somebody to change their mind. The Three of Wands means that, you're not waiting in vain. There is some type of development, perhaps in the month of August, where, this is what you've been waiting for. Perhaps you've been waiting for there to be, movement in a relationship as far as commitment. Perhaps you've been waiting for marriage because the sun is here. Remember, the main energy that you have to work with is the High Priest. So the High Priest actually also represents marriage, but it just represents you really knowing who you belong with. And I feel like you know that. You sense that in the month of August. Now down here, you have the King of Wands, the Star, and the Page of Swords. Now, you not only have the King of Wands, right underneath them, you have the Queen. So this is your energy as a fire sign. If your partner is also a fire sign, this represents them, but this is a couple here. King and Queen of Wands. This is a couple that belongs together. Again, tying in with this soulmate energy here from the Hierophant. These are two people that are similar, or again, this is, kindred spirits and soulmates. You also have the Star. The Star can represent the sign of Aquarius, but this just represents your hopes and wishes. This is right next to you, your energy. You have the Page of Swords, which means the sign of Aries could have, a chance to really, speak your truth in the month of August. The Page of Swords is being completely open and blunt as far as what you want in a relationship. Again, this is your hopes and wishes here. Maybe you're getting a chance to really let your partner know what you want. Because I see you going, for success here with the Chariot and the Sun. You've been waiting. You've been waiting long enough. It could be that maybe you're letting them know how you feel, or you're letting them know that you want something more committed, or you want a relationship with them. Now down here at the bottom, let's see if I can show you. Here we go. Queen of Wands, so perhaps another fire sign, another Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. And Justice, which can represent the sign of Libra. But this also just represents perhaps an apology coming to you. It can be an apology. It can also just be, someone trying to make things up to you. It could be an ex, because there was that very, very strange synchronicity with the Devil at the bottom of both decks, and even coming up as jumping cards for the ex spread, which we're going to do in a minute. If you've been wronged by somebody in the month of August, you might be hearing an apology. You might be hearing, someone explain themselves. This is why I did that. This is what really happened. Perhaps this is the truth here. Perhaps your wish is to hear the truth. What really happened with their ex, or what really happened with your partner? What is it that, they want? How do they feel? Because I see two people down here. I see a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, male or female, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And I see you, the Queen of Wands, and you've got Justice in the middle. I feel like something has not been fair to the sign of Aries. Something has not been fair. And I feel like you're hearing the truth. You're hearing the truth in the month of August, or you're able to speak your truth as far as, how you really feel about what someone did to you. Okay, let's get a few more cards and see what the rest of the message is. What other messages are there for the sign of Aries for August 2019? You've got Judgment. What other messages are there for the sign of Aries for August? The Four of Wands. What other messages are there for the sign of Aries? And the Four of Pentacles. So Judgment up here, this is a second chance for you. This is a second chance, a new beginning. This is a milestone in a relationship, because you've got something long-term here, the Four of Wands. This can even be marriage, or again, this is just a relationship that is strong, that has a firm foundation. There's a second chance for this relationship with Judgment. This is a relationship rising from the ashes in the month of August. But there is some resistance here with the Four of Pentacles. Someone is holding back from you. Someone is wanting to play it safe. So some of you may be really speaking up about this. With the Page of Swords, you're speaking your truth as far as, again, what you really want, with the Star being here. For some, this is the person that you're in a relationship with, but it can also be your ex. Again, this is just a kindred spirit or soulmate with this Hierophant energy. Okay, let's go ahead and get a few cards from the confirmation deck and see what comes up there. What other messages are there for the sign of Aries for August 2019? Interesting. Three of Wands right next to the Three of Wands. What other messages are there for the sign of Aries for August? Ace of Pentacles. What other messages are there for the sign of Aries? And the Four of Swords. So, I mean, this is your double message. This is the most important thing that you need to hear for the month of August. Waiting. What you have been waiting for. For everyone, it's going to be different. Maybe you've been waiting to meet somebody new. Maybe you've been waiting to hear from someone. Maybe you've been waiting to hear the truth. Maybe you've been waiting to confront someone. These are all things we've seen in this reading. What you've been waiting for is here. Now, you also have a new beginning with this. With the Ace of Pentacles. There is some type of unexpected new beginning. Keep in mind that you had the Tower jump for you at the beginning of the reading. There is, you know, some waiting, but there's a new beginning here. A very blessed and unexpected new beginning. But you also have the Four of Swords, which means that although there's a new beginning, and we see that also over here with the Judgment card, there's a new beginning for you. Perhaps with someone who has really wronged you. You have the Four of Swords. There still has to be healing. The Four of Swords can also be, again, somebody is pulling away from you. Somebody maybe is asking for some space with the Four of Swords. Somebody needs some time out so that you can have this new beginning with them. I mean, it's hard to say in a general reading, but you do have these energies for you, regardless of what's going on around you. You do have the energy of waiting for someone here and then having a new beginning, perhaps after someone has done a lot of thinking or perhaps after healing a relationship. But I do feel like whatever your situation is, with this Devil energy popping up in strange places, that this is... For many of you, this is connected to your ex. Again, this is what jumped from the ex spread. So let's go ahead and move on to that spread next. And for the ex spread, it can represent someone that you had a long-term relationship with. But it can also just represent someone that you dated just a few times and you want to know if you're going to hear from them again. So here are the cards that jumped, just to kind of refresh your memory. The Devil, the Seven of Wands. Again, the Devil can represent perhaps what happened in the relationship, fighting, negativity, perhaps there were lies, perhaps it was turning into an unhealthy relationship. And again, the chance to confront that ex. So let's go ahead and put them back on the deck here. And I'm also going to get the confirmation deck ready for you here. If you would like to get a private reading with me, just go to my website, channeledguidance.com. I'll put a link down below, and you should be watching this on YouTube channel, Channeled Guidance Tarot. Okay, so let's go ahead and get a main energy for your ex. Remember, yours was the Hierophant. Show me the strongest energy around Aries' ex for August 2019. What is the strongest energy around their ex? They've got Judgment, which you also had in the first spread. Judgment does represent a second chance, a new beginning, a relationship rising from the ashes. So let's go ahead and set that aside, and let's get some cards for you from this deck right here. What messages are there for the sign of Aries about their ex for August 2019? The first card is the Queen of Swords. What messages are there for the sign of Aries about their ex for August? The Fool. So another new beginning. Messages for the sign of Aries about their ex for August. Eight of Pentacles. Messages for Aries about their ex for August. Four of Pentacles, which you also had in the first spread. Messages for Aries about their ex for August. Here it is again. This was a jumping card. The Seven of Wands. Messages for Aries about their ex for August. The Two of Cups, which is a soulmate card. What other messages are there for Aries about their ex for August 2019? Nine of Pentacles. Messages for Aries about their ex for August. Knight of Wands. Messages for Aries about their ex. And Strength. Okay. So let's start at the top and see what all of this means for you. You have the Queen of Swords, which is an air sign. Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. Male or female. Sun, Moon, or Rising. Keep in mind the King and the Queen of Swords, they represent people who or maybe a little bit emotionally unattached, who don't like emotions, people who analyze, who are very logical and rational. So if they're not an air sign, it can also be you if you have a moon or rising in air sign, or it can just be the person who is your ex, who is in that energy, over analyzing things. You do have a new beginning here. So the Fool, again, this ties in with the main energy. Your ex does want some type of, reunion. They want a new beginning. The Fool does represent a risky opportunity, though. There are no guarantees with the Fool. You're being told, trust your heart and your intuition. The relationship with your ex, it does require a lot of work. You have the Eight of Pentacles. You have to really work on building this relationship up. Perhaps they have a lot of work to do as far as regaining your trust, or maybe winning your heart again, with the Fool right next to this. Keep in mind, this card here, it also jumped for you. No, wait, this card came up in the first spread. It didn't jump, but it was there. The Four of Pentacles does mean that there's someone holding back here. There's someone who's playing it safe. And you have this next to a card this was the jumping card for the X spread. So, I mean, it could be maybe that when you were together with your ex, maybe part of the problem was that there was a lack of commitment. Perhaps there was, someone getting cold feet. The Four of Pentacles is just someone who's refusing to change. Someone who is just, they're digging their heels in, and they're staying put. They're not budging. They're playing it safe. I see a confrontation here with the Seven of Wands. You're really getting a chance in the month of August to speak your truth, to stand your ground. Maybe because they refuse to change, and maybe they're communicating with you, but you're having a chance to really speak up. You have the Soulmate card. So, this soulmate does want a second chance with you. But for some reason, I see you really being very fiery here. Maybe you're setting some rules. Maybe, again, in your past relationship, they were refusing to change. Maybe the relationship was not committed. There's a lot of work to do here. That's what the Eight of Pentacles is telling you. You actually even have the Nine of Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles does represent someone who's very successful, someone that, this is about self-worth and self-love. I feel like for the sign of Aries that this is you. This is not your ex. I feel like when it comes to you deciding, are you going to take them back, or are you going to believe them, you have to do what's best for you. Especially for women. I mean, it can be for men as well, but this just represents you doing what's best for you. You have the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands, this can be your ex really pursuing you relentlessly. The Knight of Wands is someone who does not back down, someone who's refusing to give up. It can be your ex, or some of you, I feel like for the majority of you it is, but it can be you if you've been trying to get them back. You also have the Strength card here, which can represent the sign of Leo. But the Strength card is telling you to be patient with this whole situation. Be patient with your ex. This is saying don't let your ego get the best of you. Don't get angry. Don't get frustrated, because I see you being very fiery here, confronting your ex. Remember, the Devil under the bottom of both decks at the beginning of the reading, and then a jumping card from the X spread. So I feel like the sign of Aries, like, you may be really angry about something. The Strength card and the Seven of Wands. You could be very, very angry at your ex. They may be desperately trying to get you back. You do have two new beginnings here. Do you want them back? Should you take them back? The Nine of Pentacles is saying you do what's best for you. Okay, let me get a few more cards for you so we can get the rest of the message. What other messages are there for the sign of Aries as far as their ex for August 2019? Three of Wands. So this was a repeat card for you in the first spread. What other messages are there for the sign of Aries about their ex for August? The Sun, which you also had in the first spread. What other messages are there for Aries about their ex? And the Wheel. Okay, so if you have been waiting, if you're watching this reading because you desperately want your ex back, and you have been waiting, again, this card showed up 2 times in the first spread. Here it is again. You're not waiting in vain. You have the Sun here, which is success, positive energy. This is you having the happiness that you want. You also have the Wheel, which shows there will be a lot of movement as far as the relationship with your ex, but this also is just a very lucky time for you in the month of August. It's a very lucky time to reunite. Again, the Fool and Judgment. These are 2 new beginnings. This is a very lucky time to be able to work things out, because I feel the sign of Aries is angry. You're angry and you have something that you want to say to them, and you will have that chance in the month of August. Okay, let's go ahead and get a few confirmation cards from this deck right here. Let me just give it a quick shuffle. What other messages are there for the sign of Aries? Okay, there was a card that jumped. Let me show you what that is. This jumped right away, the moon. So the moon can represent the sign of Pisces, but this just means that there's a lot of confusing energy around your ex. Maybe there's a lot of things that you don't know, which could be why we had the Tower jump with the Six of Cups at the beginning of the other spread. So let me put that back in there. What other messages are there for the sign of Aries about their ex for August 2019? You just had another card jump here, the Five of Cups. This could be that they're very disappointed. This could be that they have regrets. Just put that back in there. What other messages are there for the sign of Aries about their ex for August 2019? Okay. What other messages are there for Aries about their ex for August? Five of Pentacles. Messages for Aries about their ex for August. The Queen of Wands. Messages for Aries about their ex. And the Six of Wands. So, although you could be very unhappy right now, because the Five of Pentacles does represent that someone is lonely, you feel maybe very disconnected from your ex, maybe they've shut you out of their lives completely. This is suffering. This is your energy here as a fire sign. It can also be your ex if they're also a fire sign. But we have victory, the Six of Wands. Although there is suffering, although there is unhappiness, you have victory here. So the sign of Aries does have a chance to really work things out in the month of August. This is a time of new beginnings, the Fool, Judgment. But I also feel like you're angry. You're angry. I feel like your ex has done something that has really upset you, and you're getting your chance to finally speak up. But make sure that you don't get too angry with the Strength card coming up. This is saying hold back a little bit. Don't get too angry or too frustrated. There's a lot of work to do here, but that soulmate connection is still there. Okay, Aries, this has been your love reading for August 2019. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you again next month.